Today's conversation is with Denise Reed, the CEO of the Concierge Office Suites in Chattanooga, Tennessee. 25 years in the co-working space. But hold on, there's so many layers to this lady. This conversation is full of surprises. But first, today's episode is sponsored by podcastacademyonline.com, a virtual academy that graduates podcasters. 7 weeks, live online group sessions, heavy on how to build your podcast and accountability. Graduate with your custom designed functioning podcast. Podcast Academy was designed with the adult learner in mind. Schedule a free consult. Visit the website www.podcastacademyonline.com.
Welcome to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. This podcast was created for the boomer woman leaving corporate, and now you're looking to reinvent yourself, become an author, an entrepreneur, a podcaster. Well, each episode will leave you with clarity. You will come away with the yes, I can and yes, I will reinvent myself mindset. So come on, let's do this. I'm your host, Margot Levette. Hello, everyone. Welcome back. Another episode, Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Well, you know, these shows are always set up so that you are inspired. You walk away with how-to information and so much inspiration till you can't say anything except ready, set, go, sign me up. I'm ready for my next. And I promise you, today's guest is when we had our initial conversation, I initially labeled her as a forerunner, a woman who did things before her time. I don't even know if she knew what she was getting into, but the woman was just stellar. She was just absolutely just stellar. So I want to introduce you to Denise Reed. And as we speak, you will understand why she's here today and why you really need to pay attention to what she's doing, what she has done, and how she can help you move into your next. So welcome, Denise. I'm so glad to have you here.
Well, I am so glad to be here.
Well, I tell you what. I know that I called you a forerunner and a woman who has a lot of forethought. You told me that your background is in commercial real estate.
Mm-hmm.
My first thought is you were doing that when commercial real estate was kind of like the good old boys position,
and
right?
Still is.
Yeah, glad you said that. It still is. But you put your footprint there. We can identify that Denise Reed is in the commercial real estate space, correct?
And gave it a little twist.
Talk about the twist. Let's hear about the twist.
I feel like we need some music.
Yeah.
Well, my twist in commercial real estate was to not just have a box with a door, but to make sure that when our clients walked in the door here at the Concierge Office Suites, they actually were served. So our whole middle name, Concierge, is about what we do. So we're connecting people with resources, we're connecting them with other people, and our whole objective is to help our clients' businesses grow so they can focus on what makes them money and their business not having to manage the office space itself.
Gosh, that is critical and crucial because that takes up so much time. You have clients coming in that where are we going to be housed? email address, snail mail
What
address.
about my
all of those
internet
things.
connection?
Oh,
Where's
yeah.
the mail today? I want some coffee. Where do I have to go to get that?
Yeah, really. I'm laughing, but that's major. Denise, when did you take us back to when you started Concierge? Because when we had our first conversation, my first thought was, wow, she was doing co-working space long before the masses were talking about that. So take us back. How did you even get into this arena?
How did I get here? In 1995, the Concierge Office Suites was started by my now former owner. And I came to work here in 1999. And the crazy thing is a year before I accepted the position, she had done an informational interview with me. And I just wanted to find out about her company and how it worked and who she was serving and those kinds of things. And she kept my resume for a year and then picked up the phone and called me and said, hey, I've got this project. Would you like to work on it? And I said, sure. And so I came here to work on the project and I fell in love with what I did. And she then offered me a full-time job after that. Wow. And I worked here for a year. And after that time, I went to her and I said, her name was Linda. And I said, Linda, I love what I do. I love who I work with. And if you ever consider selling the company, I would be interested in buying it. I don't know when you're going to do that, but please honor me with having that conversation. And 2006, she was launching another company that she owned, and she was actually writing a book with the American Medical Association and the American Hospital Association. And she knew that developing all the training and going out and doing the sales training for those particular materials were going to absorb a lot of her time. And that over the period of time that I had worked with her from 99 to 2006, I had slowly been taking over the management of the Concierge Office Suites. And I told her, I said, I don't know if I can get all the financing worked out and all of that. So Linda, go ahead and do what you need to do. I'm along till the end of the ride and let's see what happens. Well, the short story is I was able to buy it in October of 2006. And I've been owning it ever since. And in October of 2020, we celebrated 25 years in business.
Wow. Just from asking for what you wanted. You saw the vision, you asked for it, and you worked and you were patiently waiting for it to come your way. That's a teachable moment. I love it.
Oh, it's even better than that, Margot. So when I went to buy the company, one of our clients at the time became one of my angel investors because he knew that I was actually running the business. He knew what my mindset was around it, that I had done a great job for him. He saw how I interacted with the other clients and served them. And so it was a perfect opportunity.
Wow. I mean, the professionalism and the customer care, and had to been the overarching energy that you brought to that place each and every day. It netted you an angel investor.
Oh. Yes. And I didn't ask. He came to me and said, hey, do you need some extra, cash to help you get through till the receivables come in? I'm willing to loan you XYZ for this amount of time. And it's available to you.
Wow. Now, see, he or she, they were visionary also because they knew that you have as they say, the chops for what you're doing. And hey, I'm going to go ahead and get in on this good deal because this is the future. We're both going to ride into the future. Wow. That is one heck of a story. 25 years. Congratulations.
Thank
Happy
you.
anniversary to you.
Yes.
How have you seen the industry change and evolve?
Oh, wow. If you had told me in '06 that, Denise, you're walking into a business that's serving essential businesses, I wouldn't even know what you meant.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't know of anybody other than maybe somebody in disease prevention could have seen what was going to happen to all industries in 2020.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yes. Yes, indeed. We all took a big smack, but from looking 25 years back, up until the pandemic, you saw the industry change, the concierge industry change, probably mature for the better. In what ways did you see it mature for the better and reach the needs of your clients? What changes did you encounter there?
Right. And it's interesting to see who we're serving and who comes to us to be served versus, why other people might go other locations versus coming here to us. And seeing how important being able to concentrate for an extended period of time, to be able to work in a quiet environment and not be interrupted all the time, and knowing that somebody besides you, if there's something that comes up, would run interference for you, and making sure that you have an engineering experience that's called just in time. And if you're not familiar with that, just in time means that your resources are there waiting for when you need it. And when you need those resources, they're made available.
Wow.
So our whole premise and business model is built around that just in time experience.
And that is what we're
sitting here already with staff, with internet, with support for copiers, scans, a fax machine, anything a traditional office would have, we have it at the ready right when you're needed.
Just in time. I never heard that before, but it's so true. I mean, if you're working in a corporate setting for someone, everything is there. So if you're a solopreneur, or if you are away from, I don't know, you're out of town or something, everything needs to be there. I hear you use the word over and over and over again, service. That never goes out of style, does it?
No, it doesn't. And now it's even more needed because everybody's going, well, I can't get this and I can't get that. And I've been told this was going to be ready on such and such, but it's not. So that it creates a backlog of all this list of things that isn't getting done.
And then you stand in the gap there to relieve some of that frustration that is just in the air anyway these days, trying to do business. We still are under a curtain of uncertainty to a certain amount. So you take all of that away. Tell everybody, and I just jump right on in. I think everybody needs to know where you're located so that they can hop on over there and pay you a visit.
And be served.
Yeah, really.
Well, we're right here in the Central Business District of downtown Chattanooga. And in fact, I manage two groups, one on Facebook and one on LinkedIn, called Chattanoogans. And you can request to join either one of those groups if you want to find out about all things Chattanooga.
Oh, wow.
So I try to tell the untold story that only the locals know, and make sure that you're connected with fun stuff and business things so you can live a well-rounded life.
You're serving all of Chattanooga, Tennessee. Wow.
Trying to.
No, I'd say you're doing it. I'd say you're doing it. Now, people that are listening, they're probably going to say, wow, 25 years. She's really, through the thick, the thin, the ugly, the glamour, she's just been there. She's serving Chattanooga, Tennessee. But there's another side of you that people don't know. And you say that you are really living a Green Acres, modern take on Green Acres. Take us on over there to Wing and Prayer. What is that all about?
Gosh. Well, I am living the modern day Green Acres. And for the people that are not boomers and not familiar with Green Acres, I'll fill in the gaps. Green Acres was a TV series that was a couple, and the wife was from New York. And the husband was from the country, and they got married and they moved out to Burbia. And they had a farm, and the whole show is about their interactions with their neighbors and how a woman from New York lived in the country. That was the funny part about it. And my husband and I happened to start a commercial broiler poultry farm, and we named it Wing and a Prayer. So our symbiosis is my husband manages the farm, and I get to come to the Concierge Office Suites and manage all the business side of the business.
How did you get into, I told you all she's a visionary. How did you all get into Wing and a Prayer poultry? You're really doing this and have been doing it. You're not novices. You're not new kids on the block. How did that come together for you? Was that another opportunity that you saw and thought, we better jump on that?
Yes. So my husband had actually worked in the poultry industry, and he just retired this year as an employee. And it's now 5 going on 6 years that we had the vision of buying the farm. And a lot of people have in their minds that it's a little chicken coop and you got a couple of chickens and you're getting eggs. That's what normally goes through people's minds when they hear chicken farm. But to give you an idea of the scope of our farm, and realize that our farm is not the largest, but our farm has 4 54 by 500 foot barns. And about every 45 days, we have about 130 plus chickens that we babysit and grow to adulthood so you can have chicken.
Wow. And you're not a large farm? Wow, amazing.
No.
Oh my goodness. Any plans of expansion or just going to keep it right there? What are your thoughts?
For the farm, we're probably going to keep it right there as poultry producing. But I was thinking about in my future life, turning part of our 40 acres of the farm into a glamping opportunity.
And now what is that?
It's where you have the best of both worlds for camping and having a glamorous experience.
Oh.
So for me, it's a melding of being outside and my concierge services that I operate here at the Concierge Office Suites. But this would be for fun.
Mm-hmm. Wow.
So you could walk into a tent and have an itinerary of fun things to do in the area, come hang out for a weekend, run away without having to go very far. So I'm looking at that opportunity.
I think that it would be a winner. You know how many people just want to get away. Once we come on the other side of this, really on the other side of this, oh my goodness, you'll stay booked. It's just, what an idea. Gosh.
I think that too. So I'm doing my homework and connecting with people in the industry and looking at what it takes to get it launched and to build it out and all those kinds of things to make it worthwhile.
Wow.
If nothing else, I'll have a fun place to camp myself.
Hey, wait a minute. You better not let me know that it's open. I'll fly in. Hey. Sounds like something good to
and
do.
I think it might take you a day if you're coming from LA to here.
Well, I wouldn't drive. I would fly. I wouldn't drive.
Well, I'm just saying that Uber would drive you out there.
Oh, you're that far out? Oh,
yes.
Wow.
So it's about an hour commute outside of Chattanooga.
Really? Wow.
Mm-hmm. So you're out there.
That's nice, though. You're bringing
It's beautiful.
I can imagine. Tennessee is so green and just there's a different vibe coming out of that state. I've only been to Nashville, but I felt relaxed as soon as I got there, and just to see the deer walking around and the geese walking. Oh my God. It was like, what is that? And it just that's just what they do. They just walk about in your yard.
In fact, we have a doe and her 2 fawns in our backyard at home. And they come and eat our acorns in the backyard, munch on our clover.
Wow.
They love it.
That's pretty cool, though. That's pretty cool. I think we need that place where we can wind down and get away from the news and everything else. And as successful as you all with both businesses, I'm sure that you need time to just kind of get away, rethink. So I know that you've built these 2 fabulous businesses. Somebody had to have given you some information, something that was going to inspire you, keep you moving. What was the best advice someone ever gave you concerning building your businesses?
Well, it was really interesting when I bought the business. I'm going, all right, I'm going to get to do what I love every day. And what I didn't realize is that with having employees, not that you don't interact with them, but I have become like the mother bear of trying to make sure that my employees are as happy coming to work as I am.
Gotcha.
And that's been my goal, to give them an opportunity to dream about creating an opportunity for themselves beyond just being here and working with me. So if there's an opportunity for education or certification in something that they're passionate about, I want to make sure that they have the opportunity to do that.
Do you know how many people have to revisit that philosophy every day, especially now that people are leaving the workplace and they're opting to, I don't like what's going on over here, so I'm, as they say, deuces, I'm gone. But had they adopted your philosophy and actually interacted and been invested in their employees the way you are, a lot of workplaces would be in far better shape.
Oh, totally different.
You touched on something. Go ahead.
Well, what I was going to say is part of my onboarding process for my team members is to actually have them write me an essay about what their dream job is. And the caveat is it can't be about you being employed with me. It has to be about what your real dream job is, because I want to be able to open doors for them to be able to pursue that.
I tell you, visionary, 1 in a million. And you've been onboarding people that same way almost from the beginning, I would venture to say. Gosh, serving keeps coming up in your vocabulary, and dreams keep coming up in your interaction here. I want to read your favorite quote, and it's by T.E. Lawrence. You said, "All men dream, but not equally. Those who dream by night in the dusty recesses of their minds wake in the day defined that it was vanity. But the dreamers of the day are dangerous men, for they may act on their dream with open eyes to make it possible.
Yep.
Oh, open eyes.
Mm-hmm.
Make it possible. And you make it possible. Just the fact that you are Denise Reed, and give us the name of the business that you built, please. Concierge.
So the business that I built was the Concierge Office Suites.
Okay.
And it's a full service office space here in downtown Chattanooga.
Got you. Is there an email address, or how do they get in contact with you there?
You can, if you want to reach out to me, you can reach out to info@theconciergeofficesuites.com.
Got you. And wing and a prayer.
Mm-hmm.
Are you wholesale, or do you go to the farmers markets, or is there a reason why people need to know how to reach you? How does all that
come about? We actually work for what's known as an integrator in the industry. So they bring us our chicks, we raise the birds, and then they come and pick them up for processing so you can eat chicken.
Wow. So it is a process.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it's systematically doing this. Mm-hmm. Takes the pressure off of you all also raising them.
Yes, there's no marketing involved in that business.
Wow. How cool. This has been delightful. I so appreciate you, Denise Reed, and it's always a learning experience. We get a chance to talk to the visionaries, the people that are the reason why we are experiencing things the way we experience them, the co-working space. You built the bar, you built the bridge, you bought the property for how they're run today. So thank you, a million thank yous.
Oh, you're welcome, Margot.
Gosh, parting words. You have one final word for the audience?
Oh, I do. Based on our pre-conversation and today, just remember, if you accomplish one thing today and one thing tomorrow, and you continue to do that over the course of a year, you will have accomplished 365 steps toward your dream.
Wow. That's mind-boggling. That is empowerment at its best. Wow. Thank you, Denise Reed. And thank you, everyone, for tuning in. Another episode here at Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. You're going to find this conversation on all of the major platforms. I tell you, you're going to have to listen more than one time, and you definitely want to share this out with colleagues. Too many of us are stuck. Too many of us are afraid to make a move. Denise Reed has given us many, many necessary resources. So get in contact with her. So that's it. I'll see you next week with a brand new episode right here. Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. Bye-bye now.
Bye-bye.
I want to thank you for listening to Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation. A couple of things that I want you to do right now. Go to my website, pick up a copy of Her Business, Her Voice, Her Reinvention, how I went from game show hopping to international show host, author, and speaker in 1 year. Number 2, please freely listen to each and every episode. Share them out with your family, friends, the men in your lives. And then number 3, get in contact with me, one of the experts that have been on the show, because I want to make sure that you reinvent yourself. I'll be back next week with a brand new episode here on Her Business, Her Voice, Her Conversation.